Hey guys, welcome to The Bookish Islander. My name is Juan, and today I'm here to do another book review. Last week I read The Finkler Question, which won the Booker Prize in 2010, and this was the first book for me in my Booker Through the Decades project. If you want to know more about that project and if you want to read along with any of the titles, best thing that you can do is go check out my Friday Reads, because I talk about my progression with these books and I talk about the books that I've been reading and the next book that I'm going to read on my Friday Reads. Having said that, what I'm doing at the moment is that I'm reading all the books that won in the teens. So I started with a Finkler Question, which won in 2010. But let's focus on this, on the Finkler Question. And the easiest thing for me to say about this book would be that we're before the English Philip Roth. And when I say that, I mean the best kind of Philip Roth there was. The obsession with Jewishness, the exploration of what it means to be Jewish and what it means to be human, and a very similar kind of humor. Those are present in the best novels by Philip Roth and are also present here in The Finkler Question. Yet the main character in this novel, Julian Treslov, isn't Jewish. But he does go on a quest to explore Jewishness throughout the novel, and the catalyst for him is when he's mugged by a woman in central London, and he finds that so emasculating, so humiliating that he keeps going back to it, he obsesses on it, and he keeps going back to it throughout the novel. So who is this Treslov? Well, he works at the BBC, and as you probably know, the BBC is this giant public broadcaster in the UK with also an international presence. But he doesn't like working there. He doesn't share the love for the BBC that a lot of people in Britain and around the world have. He hates it. So this is a great opportunity for Jacobson to satirize the BBC. But okay, so Treslov doesn't have a glamorous job at the BBC. He works for BBC Radio. Specifically, he works for Radio 3, which is the highbrow radio network by the BBC. Okay, that's not too bad, you might say, but he works in the late night time slot producing arts programs that, according to him, nobody listens to. Treslov has two Jewish friends, and they're both key here, but particularly his childhood friend, Finkler. So Finkler is a character, and this book isn't about him. So why the title? Why the Finkler Question? Well, Treslov, yeah, he's Finkler's friend, but he also hates him. He hates his guts. And he thinks of his friend Finkler as the archetype for the Jewish man. So in his mind, the word Finkler has become synonymous with the word Jewish. So the Finkler Question is the Jewish question. And now that you understand that, you'd probably realize that this novel is preoccupied with exploring Jewishness, not just in Britain, but also in the wider Western world. Their common friend Libor is also Jewish. He is a former teacher of them, but in a previous life, he also worked as a Hollywood gossip reporter. The Finkler Question, it's a comic book, it's a satire of modern Britain, it's a satire of Jewishness, and the humor that is used is very poignant, which works very well when Jacobson talks about things like anti-Semitism or terrorism. But the best thing to me about the Finkler Question are the dialogues. Jacobson clearly has an acute ear for dialogue and for humor. So some of the laugh-out-loud moments in this novel, and to me there were a few of those, come with the dialogues. And why? Because the characters argue, and they argue passionately. And of course, they argue about what else but the Finkler Question itself, the Jewish question. But with a protagonist as obsessive as Treslov, I must say that parts of the book became so repetitive that, you know, I had to take breaks from reading it because it just felt that I was reading the same thing over and over and over. Having now read the whole book, that repetitiveness, that obsessiveness works, and it's what makes the book what it is, I think. And without that repetitiveness and that obsessiveness, the poignant humor might not have worked. And make no mistake, despite the humor, the novel gets dark. Very dark at times. So, have you read the Finkler Question? I'd be really curious to know your thoughts on it, and also if you want to read it, let me know, because I think you should. I think you should read this novel. I think it's a great book, and I think it was a great winner for the Booker Prize in 2010. Of course, I haven't read the other books that were nominated, but this one is a good book, and it deserves an award. So the next book on my Booker Through the Decades project is The Sense of an Ending by Julian Barnes. I've already started reading this book. If you want to read along again, you can start now. Also check out my Friday Reads this week when I hopefully would have read it. But my next review of a Booker Prize winning novel would be of this one. I hope you join me in reading it. I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Finkler Question. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye bye.